Peace and welcome into the latest and the greatest episode of Men of a Certain Age, The Soup. I am Fro. I got my man Panero with me, and I got my man DL from the ATL. We are all back in the cipher, and it is good to see you, my brothers. Every time I see y'all, as I say, it's a therapeutical type thing. You get to say it, the type of shit that you've been holding on to in the back of your dome piece all week on this Sunday soup session. Peace to you, man. How you feeling?
Good, man. Busy bee this week, man. I had got 8 court dates in the next week, maybe 2 weeks or whatever. So busy with that, man, and just refining my craft, getting better, dotting I's, crossing T's, man, and waiting for February when I launch my own company. Just get it together, man.
No doubt.
Wins the race.
Been 25. I like it. Panero, what's good with you, my G? Good to see you, man. See you back in the saddle again. Let me give you. No doubt, Lord. Good to see you, man. How you be?
I'm good. You know how life be lifing, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to my cousin Jimbo Banks, my man Haas,
Killer Banks.
My man Mike Bland. We had a few drinks last night, so I'm feeling the consequences right now. But I'm a man of a certain age, and I'm here, baby. I'm here.
There it is.
It's good to see y'all, man. Shout out to the boys back in the low, man. Haas and Mike B, man. Killer Banks and everybody else. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. It is, like I said, it's a Sunday morning. We cooking up. We got to cook up, not the soup today. We're going to cook up some stew because we got a whole bunch of shit. When you get that good stew you ate, so you might have a piece of beef, onion, tomato, not a tomato, but a potato in the jump off, some onions and some celery. So we going stew style week on the soup, man. For the last 6-7 months, we have been politically heavy for a very specific reason. It was election season, so we still gonna keep our eye on the politics, but we're not gonna be as political eccentric on this from here on out. We're gonna throw it in there every now and again, but on this particular episode, man, we're gonna add a little bit of the licks, the politics to the soup this week because the election is still fresh in our brains. You know what I mean? We haven't got to Turkey Day yet. Shout out to everybody. Hope everybody has a great Turkey Day. Get the itis and find out you in the corner somewhere asleep while everybody talking, playing cards and everything else, but you got hands on your stomach like this somewhere with your eyes closed, talking about I was just resting my eyes.
Yeah, you know? Don't touch that remote.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my pops, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I'm saying all of this to say we live in a world right now of a lot of uncertainty. So we have to pay attention and call to attention to things that we don't agree with. We're gonna continue to do that on the soup. You and I, we went ace deuce last week. We got a lot of the electric talk off of our heads, but it's still in the back of our minds. But I'm gonna come to you, Panero, because we haven't heard the people. Have not heard your point of view on how you've been feeling since Pete Harris took that L on election day.
You know what? I feel like he's president-elect right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not considering him the president because I still have some weird feelings about how quick this shit all happened. You know what I'm saying? I think VP Harris at this particular moment is calculated and smart. You know what I mean? She is an attorney. So, of course, she's going to congratulate him on being the president-elect. But in the back of her mind, I think there's some investigations going on how he became president, on how he actually got all the battleground states. Come on, man. It's ridiculous. And I don't want to seem like I'm not a conspiracy theorist type dude. I ain't wearing the hat with the foil and the joint on the top. You know what I'm saying? I ain't that guy. But previous elections didn't happen this fast. When you got Starman involved, you don't know what's happening or what's going on. It just seems weird to me, but it is what it is at this point. But I still don't believe that he won the actual election. That's just how I feel.
And it's a lot of that. UH and I, we talked last week specifically about the situation, about how easily it was accepted that he won.
How quick, bro.
Right.
It was really quick, man. It usually takes a while to count votes and things of that nature, but this seemed to happen so fast. So I also, as a caveat, I have a job and I have a business. The job I have creates business for my small business. The job I have has just now said no more overtime for anyone. So there's no taxes on something that you don't have. The effects of president-elect are already happening now. This isn't a game, man. So for all you people who voted for Trump that are working people who sometimes depend on overtime, it's coming to a theater near you. I'm letting you know right now.
That's a fact. And there was consequences and repercussions to all of this. We sat up there and we saw Trump say he knew nothing about Project 2020. I know nothing about that. That's not me. Everything but the truth. So it's when things get tough. And I was speaking with my moms as I was taking her to church this morning. Listen, the Europeans think that all the shit that Trump is going to do and pull off is only going to affect me, you, us.
Yep.
It's only going to affect us. But when it comes down to it and it starts biting them in the ass, y'all by yourselves now. Speak on it, UH.
That's the thing about it. We've been talking about Project 25 since I actually hopped on the pod. We were well aware of the effect that it would have. And to see that he appoints, I think he's appointed him to the director of the budget or something like that. So the architect of Project 25 put him in the most correct position, accurate position for what he wants to get done, because he's controlling the money and where the money wants to go. They're going to eliminate programs. And a lot of these white people, I don't think that they realize is that, like you said, that these things that they're going to eliminate, they may think it may be adverse to us and to other people of color and to immigrants. But the bottom line is that there are more poor white people in this country than anybody else.
Exactly.
So who's it going to affect more? Are you kidding me? It's really hilarious to me to sit back and watch how stupid these people are going to feel in about a year. I give it about a year, because it's going to probably take a year. They're going to be all excited about getting immigrants and everything out and so on and so forth. But when it really starts to hit home and these policies starts to touch the average American at this point, that's when we're really going to see. We're really going to see then how responsible they are for the decisions that they've made.
Yeah.
There it is right there. He knew nothing. Yeah. He never heard of it. And here it is. Hey, running rampant with it, straight up and down. We put it in your face of what we're going to do, what we plan to do, but it's the black people, the blacks. Right. The blacks are getting over. They're catching up. It's Hector and Consuelo.
Right.
I don't want them living next door to us. And then it's Hector and Consuelo thinking they better than us.
Exactly.
Let me bring this to your attention real quick, man. As I said, thanks for tuning in. Please share, comment, subscribe, download. Please, if you don't agree with what's being said, let it be known. Because again, a closed mouth cannot be fed.
That's right.
But what I want to do is this, man. Let me share this with y'all, fellas.
My name is Reese Walters, and this is Who Raised Y'all, where we highlight those unique individuals going above and beyond to make our society worse. The kind of people you'll see asking to speak to the manager at the pearly gates. Now, we've addressed a number of different voting groups post-election. I've discussed right here on this platform the breakdown of the Latino vote. Now, if we look at the Latino voting through the years, you see a slide happening each and every election from 2016 to 2024. And that only makes less sense when you realize how aggressively Trump has been targeting Latinos from 2016 to 2024. Apparently, as he's intensified his attacks, he only gets more support from Latinos. Now, if you have a natural slide from, if you look at Latino men, you have a natural slide from 31 to 23, then you might expect in 2024, maybe lose another few points. Hopefully you can mitigate that because of, I don't know, the mass deportation signs. Maybe that might mitigate the slide a little bit. No, the slide was intensified this time around to flip the Latino male vote to Trump. And I've even got into some of the comments.
I believe he's going to start deporting all the bad people.
Oh, it's the bad people. It's the, you mean the monster under the bed? Is that what he gonna get? He gonna get the monster under the bed, and then he gonna get the monster in the closet, and then he gonna get the people that hold up traffic during rush hour to try and parallel park in a busy street. Those three getting out of here. They out of here.
Trump won over the Alvarez family, and many like them. Whether the economy improves and who exactly he chooses to deport may determine if he keeps them.
My family is Latino, and a lot of them are immigrants. But at the end of the day, we're American.
What? There's more?
How many of you are U.S. citizens? How many of you support Donald Trump?
I don't know that I would have gone on camera if I were not a U.S. citizen.
Right.
In that instance, but touche.
You're undocumented and you support Donald Trump.
I support Donald Trump for
the economy. Where the economy back in your home country? Is that? Because I don't see how you would be supporting Donald Trump based on the economy here when you're undocumented with the threat of being deported.
Dummy.
And if I'm going to try and thread this needle for people like this, so let me get this straight. So you heard everything that he had to say, all the attacks that he made about the economy without internalizing exactly how our economy is doing with respect to the rest of the world when you are somebody that has connections outside of the country by virtue of you being an immigrant. So irregardless of your own personal experience, you find that you want to support him because of the economy. Meanwhile, you wouldn't be here if our economy wouldn't support you being here, because that wouldn't make any sense. Right. So if I got this straight, you heard all of his attacks that he made about the economy, ignored the fact that you're only here because of our economy and how our economy compares to the rest of the world, and didn't hear any of the stuff he said about mass deportation or any of his sycophants.
Man, how in the fuck? It's like the devil, right? How else can you shape this shit, yo?
Man, you can't.
How can you literally, just like we just put up that about the 2025 project when Trump was saying he didn't know nothing about it, but wow, soon as he win, there it is, right in your face. Yeah. And then these dudes, these Latinos, from Hector to Jose, who's fair-skinned and can pass as a European until he opens his pie hole, wants to vote for Trump. This fool, and just shout out to Reese Walters, man. He's good at what he does, man. Check out his pod. He's a real funny dude, man. But just like he pointed out, how the fuck are you talking about the economy? And that's the reason why you fucking here.
Exactly.
It's so that you can make some money. But you gonna talk about the economy is fucked up? What's wrong with him, UH?
I don't know, man. Maybe he wasn't here in 2019, I guess it was, when I remember it distinctly because I had moved out of here because they were refurbishing this house before I bought it. And I was living with my mom out in Douglasville, and she lives in a brand new subdivision, right? So I watched it. I would come out there, and of course, me being there, I'll come out there and see the guys, the workers, putting up the new houses every day. Nothing but who? Hispanics. I'm like, damn, ain't no black dudes out there? No, all Mexicans, or probably not Mexicans, Hispanics. Right. So remember, Trump starts to rage, and he's putting the kids in the cages, and they're kicking in doors and going to get people. For 3 days, I didn't see not one Mexican on the roof. And then there was COVID after that. So maybe they forgot. Maybe COVID snatched part of their memories or something like that about this guy. But I am here for it. I'm here for it. I was born at Myers Hospital in Buffalo, New York. I graduated from City Honors High School, went to Canisius College. You know what I'm saying? Went to the U.S. Army. I had Social Security from day one. So we're good as far as that aspect of this whole nonsense is concerned. But if I didn't have any of those things, no matter who I thought I was, the reality is this is what you are, and he is what, and he's the guy that's coming to get you. That's the reality.
Lord P. It's infuriating, really, to listen to these people say the idiotic shit. She in their kitchen asking how many of y'all are undocumented. The whole room put up both hands. You know what I mean? They think he's bullshitting about sending these people back, coming to their job, coming to the jobs. They know where they at.
Right.
You know what? They know what type of jobs they trying to hold. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna hit all the hotels, and all of that type shit. The
construction,
the construction yards,
landscaping,
all of that. We talked about it last week. You know, it's gonna come back, but it's just gonna be more fucking expensive. Right. And guess who's gonna be complaining about it? The European, because they ain't gonna want to pay us, the people who gonna come in and do the job for an extraordinarily more than what Hector and Consuelos and them was gonna do it for.
Right.
You know, but it was all good to keep their foot on our supposed neck. What's up with the Latino community, fam?
The thing about undocumented in the Latino community is that it's the Republican Party. They don't want them here. You know what I'm saying? They say they don't pay taxes, but yet they vote for a guy who bragged about not paying taxes. You know what I'm saying? They'll say, that they bring crime, but yet you vote for a guy who has 34 felonies. They say they're a threat to national security. But if you look at the statistics, the FBI say the most threat to national security is white supremacy. See what I'm saying? The thing about the Latino community is what a lot of people don't understand is the Latino community has their own set of white people. You know what I'm saying? There's so much colorism in the Latino community that they have their own white people within their own community. These are the people who are fair-skinned enough to marry white, to assimilate themselves into society and not think that they're still Latino. So what they'll do is they say those people over there can be deported. But what they don't realize is they'll unnaturalize your ass and take you too. You are still who you are, regardless of who you marry. They're trying to make a law now that there's not going to be a point where you can be born in this country and be a part of the country just because you were born here. It doesn't matter now. They're trying to get rid of that too. So exactly, man. Listen, like Don said, we good. We've been here. You know what I'm saying? We voted properly. Now that's your issue, Hector. Now go ahead and deal with it. Yo, I'm not trying to be funny, but don't come to me with your shit. I'm not fucking with y'all. You voted how you voted, and this is the consequences that you're going to suffer for it. Now we're going to suffer for it as Americans because the prices of everything is going to go up. I drive out to the South Towns all the time. There's farms out there. There's buses of immigrants that farm those areas. They're going to be gone. So if there's no one there to pick the freaking apples and oranges and blase splee, you know what I'm saying? Who's going to do it? Because like Les said, the normal American is going to want to be paid properly. We're going to want medical coverage. We're going to, you know what I'm saying? We're going to want what we're supposed to get. Now, Consuela is going to do it by the bushel, $1 a bushel. You know what I'm saying? He's going to hustle out there and get 100 bushels for $100. That's not how we roll. So when that's gone and the prices go up, everybody who voted for Trump was like, why are the prices? What's going on? Yeah, that's what you voted for. So fuck around and find out. That's where I'm at.
Last week I introduced a cat, man, and I'm trying to come your way, man.
You good?
And with the socials and whatnot, place where I can free my mind a little bit and have and enjoy myself a little bit, and that's really why I partake with Twitter, because it brings me some type of enjoyment. You know what I mean?
It's all good, man. No worries.
It passes time, but at the same time, I don't want to have no association with fucking that motherfucker from South Africa, man. Excuse my French, man. I don't, even though it's free, but it's still benefiting him. And I know once I do log off or whatever, he ain't gonna miss me. But it's still in my mind that he benefits from it. So I'm trying to find a place to I can keep my socials going.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I'm saying that to say this. Last week I introduced a brother, man, Gary Chambers, and from Louisiana. And he was building with Bakari Sellers on, once again, the media talking about everything, how VP Harris laws, other than the truth of it, the ism. So now it's identity politics. You know, that's one of the
new catchphrases.
Right. One of the reasons why she lost. I've heard bullshit like because she didn't go on Joe Rogan's show is why she lost. Shit like that. We talked about woke last week. She lost because she was, too much associated with woke. But let's listen to this Gary Chambers segment real quick, y'all.
I'm gonna get my pen.
Brethren, and he and black voters are showing up less and less in Louisiana because we're letting people like James Carville lead the conversation too much, and we don't want to say that.
I don't think James Carville was accurate in his recent diatribe against quote unquote identity politics. I think that I'm not ageist, but I do think that the age of visionary leadership that Nancy Pelosi and James Carville and many others have passed. And I think there's a debt of gratitude to be paid, but I don't think we need to ascribe to their notion of what the future should look like. But that is your Louisiana brethren. And he went on this whole rant about identity politics, et cetera. Talk to me about how you feel about his rant. Donnie, we'll find it and play a clip right here if you don't mind. Just tell me what you think about that.
I'll give Harris credit. She didn't use any of the woke language. But this is like trying to wash clothes that's got smoke all over them. You can't get the stench out. And you could ask Senators Manchin, Senator Casey, Senator Brown, Senator Tessa, if they don't think that defund the police had an adverse effect on attitudes toward the Democratic Party. My God, you're right. It was so stupid, no one wanted to bring it up 3 years later, but the residue of it just stuck with us. And you got to read exactly what was said, exactly what I said. And it's going to take more than one cycle to get this stench off of the Democratic Party. And it's a stench of the highest order, let me tell you.
You're more kind to James Carville than I'm going to be. And I respect that he made contributions to help the party in the 90s. It's 2024, and we're still listening to a man who helped us win before social media existed, who literally has not helped win any statewide races in Louisiana in recent. But we continue to listen to this guy as the litmus test for what we should talk to. And black voters are showing up less and less in Louisiana because we're letting people like James Carville lead the conversation too much. We've got to retire some of our dinosaurs, and we don't want to say that, but we do, because that's thinking. That's like trying to convince rural white America to vote for people that we don't want to own America's racism. I just keep trying not to say that over and over, but we don't want to own that. Some of these people are racist, and Carville, like many Southern Democrats, try to find ways for us to appease those racists enough to get them to vote for you. When you leave a whole base of people at home, ignoring them and what they desire, hundreds of thousands of them, literally millions in some states, that we're not touching because we're listening to James Carville. I just think it's terrible. First, and that's first part. Secondly, identity politics worked for Trump. All he did was call out people's identities. The entire time that he ran was the trans people's identities, the blacks, the immigrants, the Haitians are eating the dogs and the cats. It is all of those things. Every group of people that he could identify, he identified them, and he found a way to say they are your enemy and they're taking something from you. He told young black men that immigrants are taking your black jobs. He told white people that immigrants are making your communities unsafe, killing your daughters and raping your women. He told them that they're sending criminals and drug dealers to your country. He went through every form of identity to scare the people that Carville's trying to get you to think are going to vote for you. And that's not working. And what Democrats have not done is say boldly, we literally had conversations privately about, and I understand the vice president working to not lean into her identity in an attempt to cater to those folks. It didn't work. So can we just not do it again?
There was a conscious effort, and that's what drives me crazy about James Carville. He just missed the whole boat. Not in no speech, not one time did Kamala Harris say, "I will be the first Black female president or woman." Not one point, not at one point, consciously. She never leaned into that identity because of the simple fact that we had this thought that identity politics wouldn't work.
A lot of people say this shit too. If you're the smartest and the brightest, you won't need it from the back.
So yeah, y'all, that my man Gary Chambers is out of Louisiana as somebody to keep your eye on and see how he moving and shaking, because he's a realist. You know, what you think about what he had to say?
I definitely agree with what he had to say. There are certain pillars right now in the Democratic Party that need to go. Obviously, Pelosi, Biden, Carville, what's the guy on the red side, the dude that keeps seizing up, the Speaker of the House, what's his name? The evil Mitch McConnell. All these old whites need to go. You know what I'm saying?
But Mitch is Republican, so
I know. I'm just saying it, but it's just general, and I'm just saying, just in general, there's a change that needs to happen because there's an old guard of politicians that are affecting American politics, and Trump was able to blend that successfully with the new age internet and the savviness of him being a media personality. He used that to his advantage because people were used to seeing him or saw him in a different light. He had a caricature that all he had to do was continue to perform that. And even though we didn't agree with the egregiousness and outrageousness of it and the blasphemous lies, that's what people wanted. People wanted him to call people out and say what's really on their mind. You know what I mean? And the strategist did a great job in harboring the hate and the frustrations that a lot of people, unlike us, have. You know what I mean? And like I say, it's difficult for us to grasp because we live in our own bubbles. You know what I mean? But there are a lot of people out there who think completely opposite of the way that we do. And obviously there's more of them than there are of us at this point. We have to find some way to even the table, or at least educate these people to understand, or maybe this experience is going to educate these people. Because once this Trump's policies hit, they're going to find out.
Lord, Gary Chambers and Bakari building. And it was a lot of truth in what they said. It was a lot of truth in what UH just said. We definitely need fresh, new ideas. Nancy Pelosi kicking salt. She was kicking salt on Biden just a couple weeks ago, saying he should have got out the race earlier and blah blah blah. This, you know what I'm saying? And she really wasn't in favor of Kamala Harris. Unfortunately, James Clyburn. James, it's time to pass the baton. Chuck Schumer, it's time to fall back. What was your thoughts on the conversation there, Lord?
What struck me with the conversation is the identity politics, and how he said that Trump is not afraid to use identity politics in your face. And the thing about the Democrats is sometimes, like you said, there's a lot of people who are just unfamiliar with the times and they're doing old things that's not working and they got to go. But my thing is, sometimes you got to fight fire with fire. These motherfuckers is doing all kind of crazy shit. Y'all need to step up and do some shit too. I like AOC a lot because she gonna come right out and say it. Yo, this is some bullshit. She not gonna say it like we're saying it. She gonna be professional about it. But this is some bullshit. We need to step up and we need to do something instead of falling back and fighting with each other. So for someone in the Democratic Party to even come out of their mouth and say that they were against VP Harris, you would never hear that on the other side. they'll keep that shit to themselves because they got a common goal. And with Trump, like earlier, like what Don was saying, like he's a caricature, man. Like Trump he's never lived in reality. So his reality, he hasn't been successful, but he's successful as a TV person. You know what I'm saying? It's all fiction to him. So he'll lie because it's all a part of fiction because it's not real. So he'll say anything, he'll do anything. He'll make it so that he has a Bible that's $60 to a point where he wants all schools to have Bibles, to a point where Bibles don't really cost $60. But if all schools have to have Bibles, which Bible do you think they're going to have? The Trump Bible. So he's going to make money from that, which is ridiculous. So it's like he has a way of getting to people who are uneducated. Because what does he love? He loves the poorly educated, and he's taking advantage, man. And these Democrats, y'all need to take some notes, man. This shit is getting out of control.
Newsflash: the state of Texas just allowed Bibles to be placed in every classroom in the state.
And which Bible are they going to use? The $60 Trump Bibles don't cost $60 to be, but of course they'll use his Bible, and he'll make money off of it, man. It all come down to the bread, man.
Not the King James version, the Trump version.
DT version.
You know what I'm saying? It's cut and clear, right?
Yeah.
They said it. Trump linked heavy into identity politics.
Heavy.
If it was one thing that the Latinos, the Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Cubans, Panamanians, they gonna hate the Haitians. So,
right.
Throw that out there to them. The Haitians, they're coming in, taking your jobs.
They're eating your pets.
And look up in Ohio, they're getting over. So, the Latinos is mad at the Haitians. So now they gonna feed off of that. And the Europeans is gonna feed off of, they're eating your pets.
Right.
They're taking your jobs. They're raping your daughters.
I love the impression, fam. The impression is on point, fam.
Man, this fool has been out here since we've been around. I mean, Trump has been around since we've been around.
Yeah.
In the news. And that's why it's like this man has been a grifter since we've seen him. It's like, it doesn't matter. That's why I say, and again, I'm not no conspiracy theorist. I'm like Sadat. How Sadat do, man. Don't come at me.
Beat me over the head with that dumb shit, man.
Don't hit me with the earth is flat and all of this and the evils. But it just points to that. Because it's like, how can you let this man look you in the face and have his hand in your pocket and tell you he ain't digging in your pocket and you believe it? It's beyond me, man. And for real, it just goes to show there's a lot of evil, spiteful people out here in this world. Let me show you what's going on in Cali, man.
This is what Bella Ivory is talking about. She's a fashion teacher at Beverly Hills High School who says on the day of the election, there was a mob going down the hallway.
There was just so many kids outside my door. And they had one had a Trump flag on a pole, on a flagpole. Another, it was just so many of them. Some of them had on MAGA hats, had on just Trump fans apparel.
She says someone tried to open her classroom door, says it upset some of her students.
At this school, I've had to deal with a lot of racism.
But at a recent school board meeting, students talked about how scared they were, given what happened outside Bella Ivory's classroom during election week.
And it became utterly impossible to just ignore it. From 8:30 to 2:30 all week, being at school felt like being in a nightmare. What the Black students and Miss Bella had to deal with that week had absolutely nothing to do with politics. That week, being stormed, being called the N-word, being shunned, all because you were Black, became the normal.
In recent weeks, I have seen racial slurs scrawled across the walls of our bathrooms, hateful rhetorics being spoken by fellow students in the hallways we share, and violent behavior towards Miss Bella in our club.
Bella Ivory also spoke at the board meeting.
They looked so frightened. Then I said, I'm not going to open the door. And then the same student said, they look like Kay.
The district tells Fox 11, we remain deeply committed to upholding a secure and conscientious setting where students can responsibly and considerably engage in the democratic process.
My husband sometimes asks me,
So yeah, man, this is what goes on. UH.
Man, wow, that's wild, yo. Yeah, man, that's absolutely crazy. But like we said in episodes that were lost, that these people felt emboldened the moment that they woke up that Wednesday morning and saw that 45 was now going to be 47. They had a nice little smug look on their face, like schneid, and you can tell that it wasn't going to be a good thing for people who didn't look like them. You know what I mean? I'm going to put it just like that. To see that these white boys are, and probably a few white Hispanics identifying as whites,
right,
considering where they are, would do that isn't a shock and it isn't a surprise. It's just something that we need to be prepared for the next at least 4 years. These guys think this internet shit is something cool and they can get indoctrinated in these rooms and do blah, blah, blah. But when a nigga punch you in your face, it's a whole different ball game that place. Or somebody pulls out on you, and it's a whole different ball game that it is. So, like I say, I'm just happy and glad that I'm insulated to the point where I'm in a city that's not having it. I don't think there will be a march down Peachtree by the Klan. I don't think that's possible. You know what I mean? I really don't. It may be. You never know with the times that we live in, but I don't think nobody marching down Auburn or Peachtree or Old Nat or Main Street on no Klan shit. I don't just see that. There's too many guns in Georgia. You know what I mean? For that. Too many guns in Atlanta. Atlanta is too black for that. Gwinnett County, I could see it. I literally could see it. You know what I mean? And it's because, you know what? It's a heavy Hispanic population up there. It's a lot of old whites. So it's going to be interesting to see how Americans group psychology works for the next 4 years. Are you going to follow the oppressors? Are you going to be one of the oppressors? Are you going to be a resistance? Are you going to be someone who doesn't is neutral? So it's going to be interesting to see how people are what lane they're going to jump in, because it's going to be a lot of white boys emboldened by 45 and 47. Exactly.
When you read that, Lord, what?
My spin on this is a little different, but it's still the same. Where are all these blacks for Trumps? How do you feel now? You got kids marching through the schools, you know what I'm saying, with this white supremacy. It's just crazy. So where is the Byron Donalds and the Tim Scotts? Like, where your job at, B?
First name, last name.
Yeah, what did he give you? You know what I'm saying? With all that ass kissing. What's going on? With Trump as president, people, like you said, they're emboldened. They have their chest is puffed out. Now they feel like they can do or say or walk through schools, or, you know what I'm saying, even with their face wide open. They ain't even got the hood on it anymore. They just walking through saying this is what it is. So I don't know. It's this. I think we're gonna have to have ourselves ready, man. This shit is gonna pop off. We're in a different time. You would think in 2024, with the things that we've done in this country, the strides we made, that it would be, if we had the right person in power, it would be different. But because we have this elect, I'm going to keep saying, that's supposed to be in power soon, we're going backwards, man. And that's how they want it. So we got to make sure we keep ourselves together. And I don't want to say it, strapped and ready for what's about to happen. But we got to stick together. All these people who are not for us, we got to identify them and not fuck with them.
So let me just say this, man, and I might catch some flack for saying this. And in the days leading up to, and I told y'all from the jump street when she said, when it was out that she was going to be running against this guy, I was skeptical whether she was going to be able to pull it off or not. And the skepticism on my part was warranted. But I say that to say this, man, I'm glad deep down that she didn't win, not so that Trump would win, but I just know that so much shit was going to be up against her, man. They would have been trying everything and anything to just fuck shit up, man. That's just how I'm thinking. And I wouldn't want that for her.
Right.
You know, to be in that position and them to be $150 with the shit, man. Just going buck wild. And I feel as though that's how they would have been, because when the real big homie came through, what was spun from that? The Tea Party spun right out of that, right out of his election. Ain't no telling what type of craziness would have went down, man, had she won. It would have been a great thing, but a scary thing at the same time.
Yeah.
But I really believe in my heart, man, they would have been trying to do everything to sabotage her. Bugs Bunny would say sabotage. You know what I mean?
But the fact that you say that, fam, I think a lot of people who were Trumpers were looking to do that if she did win. So they're upset also. Like, they were looking to ravage and act a damn fool because they thought she was going to win also. But if it wasn't for that Latino vote, she probably would have won. But you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of Trumpers, even though they wanted him to win, they also wanted to do some shit if he did. If you tell a Trumper, now that you've won, you're going to get what you deserve, they're a little upset, because it's like what they wanted was to vote for him, not for themselves, but for what he can do negatively to others. So in that realm, I just think that I understand your point from that particular point of view.
The numbers don't lie.
Right.
You look at the numbers, man. Look at the Europeans. They damn near lockstep. 74% of European men and 69% of European women. These 31% over here, that's like the blended, the quote unquote, the ones who realize what's, as for lack of a better term, as they would call them, the woke.
Right.
The woke.
Educated white people.
Pretty much.
You said it right. Educated white people, but for the haters, the ones that are woke. They co-opted woke and made it the boogeyman. You look, like I said, you look at the numbers, man. And it's all in here. And even all other races, the Asians, combinations, even
Korean.
them.
Yeah.
Even they went heavily. And it's because of the blackness.
Yeah.
You would think that the Hindus and the Indians and those would have been. She leaned into that. She didn't walk around with a red dot on her head or nothing like that. No disrespect intended with that. But she never ran away from her heritage, did she? Every time she went up there and said some shit, she said her mom's, right? Who was Indian, right? South Asian. If anything, it's like, could you mix in your dad once or twice?
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe once. Say something positive about Pops. It was always your mom's. And I'm listening, I'm hearing. You know what I mean? But again, if that's her Pops was the reason why she, other than that, she'd have been fucking Nikki Haley, right?
Easy.
It's us against everybody. It ain't Detroit versus everybody.
It's us.
It's us against everybody. And the sooner we realize that, just like you brought them suckers up earlier, Byron Donalds and Tim Scotts, y'all motherfuckers ain't even got a sniff. And then y'all talking about y'all really weren't concerned with being in the cabinet. We really didn't foresee. I didn't really had no plans. Yeah, he just put you in your place like the sucker that you are.
Right. So all my young ladies out there, all my sisters who supporting the Koreans and the hair and the nails and the this, that, and the third, I'm letting you know they not for you. They just for your bread. So we're going to have to stop supporting these people who don't support us. I'm tired of this shit, man.
I'm glad you brought that up, Lord. Let's get into this real quick. These are the companies who supported and funded old Don Trump. Molson, Coors, Miller Beers,
Chick-fil-A, wow.
Wendy's,
Nathan's,
McDonald's, Run for the Border, Nathan's, the hot dog man. You know what you want to get? Nathan. You get Nathan. Finance, Ameritrade, TD Ameritrade.
Home Depot, U-Haul. Yeah, of course U-Haul going to support him.
Versace. Penske Automotives. There it is. There it is for you, Lord. The Beauty Supply. Estee Lauder. Revlon.
LL. Our guys. I know our guys not on.
WWE, UPC, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Of course, Linda McMahon.
Yeah. New England Patriots, Houston Texans, Bob McNair.
Marvel Entertainment.
Wow. Marvel?
Yep.
Damn.
They trying to
I'm
make
the boycott. I'm boycotting, fam.
Look at that. Formula One. They was just in Vegas last night.
Yeah. PayPal.
Uline, PayPal. So yeah, man. You know, these is the motherfuckers.
In your face. In the face.
LL
To
Beaner.
America, right? In the face, right? In the face.
Let's see here. Estee Lauder.
Origins.
Bobby Brown.
Time for Beauty.
DKNY, Donna Karen. Michael Kors.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Hilfiger. Tom Ford.
They letting you know. It's public knowledge.
It is what it is, man. We talked about last week, UA, before we wrap up this thick soup we got going on, about the situations that we can only control what we can control. UH last week, P. I ain't touched cable news since election day.
Still going, same way, still going.
Yeah. And I get to join across my TL about motherfucking Joe and Mika going to Mar-a-Lago and bending the knee to Trump and shit. You know what I mean? Here y'all motherfuckers been both barrels on this motherfucker for, you know what I'm saying? Then y'all go bend the knee. What's up with that? How we supposed to trust you? How we supposed to trust y'all? You know? We all know why you went to save y'all own ass, because y'all know this motherfucker was talking about, I'm sorry y'all about the cussing. Shit is real.
A certain age, we
get a little passionate about this. You know,
like as he said, he is your retribution. So they try to say they ass. So they gonna go bow down and kiss the ring, and it's like, man, the fuck out of here. Cable news is dead, son.
See, I sent you the link. I sent you that link too, right?
They fucking numbers. They like MSNBC right now is making cuts on people and cuts on their pay, cuts on shows, because people is like, man, turning that shit off. What are we doing here? This is what we doing. And then y'all, 2 days ago, y'all was calling him a fascist and Hitler's son. And then the next day, y'all bringing cake and cookies.
Kissing the ring.
Like the new people that moved into the neighborhood.
Bend the knee.
Bend the knee. It's crazy, man. Before we wrap, man, what's your thoughts on cable news right now, UA?
Oh man, I haven't watched it, bro. I really haven't. I think it's completely out of my algorithm. I'll replace it with Chicago gangster stories, but that's a little bit too much for me. It's a little bit too much negativity for me, man. But I honestly have no opinion. I honestly have no opinion on anything. Like I said, I'm gonna sit back and wait. I see a few, because I'm on IG. So I see a few things. I follow DL, who's a great follow on there. So he keeps me posted. I got a couple other things I follow, like Atlanta Black Star, that kind of keeps me in a loop as far as what's going on. But man, Joe, Mika, Ari, I'm about to, them boys can't get it no more. Y'all can't get it. Y'all, Don Lemon, even my girl, what's the white
Rachel
chick?
Maddow.
No, Rachel really never got it from me. Joy Reid can't get it. I'm talking about the white chick that
Stephanie Rule.
Stephanie Rule. It's another white chick that come on in the afternoon.
Oh, Wallace.
Exactly. Used to be the George Bush. I used to fuck with Nicole. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's like the internet is to me right now. I look at cable news how like social media is to me right now. It's a distraction. Nothing more, nothing more, nothing less. It really doesn't. It accomplishes things if you use it correctly, but I really don't have the time to indulge myself in it enough to make it a part of my life anymore.
Y'all know me, man. Y'all know me. I'm pro-black like Ty. So if I wasn't watching Laura Coates, I'm DVRing Laura Coates. If I wasn't watching Abby Phillip, I'm DVRing Abby Phillip. If I ain't watching Joy-Ann Reid, I'm DVRing Joy-Ann Reid. If I ain't watching Reverend Now, I'm DVRing Reverend Al. I'm just supporting my black,
right.
Victor Blackwell, CNN. If I ain't watching Vic, if I ain't watching Frederica, I'm DVR. I'm giving them their viewing. After election day, man, I had to uncheck the record for them, man. I'm like, yo, y'all not taking no more space up on my joint no more,
All right.
because what y'all peddling in is, and I ain't trying to see y'all try to normalize this dude Trump, man. 9/11 or some old cataclysmic shit going on. Yeah, I'm turning on the news. Other than that, I can't do it, man. I can't trust him, P.
I haven't watched any news, any cable news. I don't get a chance to watch much news anyway because of my work schedule. But I was a Joy Reid type cat though. But I'm just, like Don said, it's like it's flooded with bullshit, and there's so much money involved. You don't know where the spin is coming from. So recently, I've been more into just studying. It's just we study. I just had to go back and study more and get into more to my family and more into trying to protect us, what's about to happen. And I've been getting a lot more into the minute his speeches, because a lot of the things that he said are happening now. So it's like I get into the speeches, I get into studying more into just us. And I get a lot of my news from you gentlemen also, because you send me things that I may not be able to see in my travels. So I credit men of a certain age. The soup right now is the crock pot, because we throwing all kind of just everything in it. You know what I mean? But I get my news from you guys, and I appreciate it.
Man, listen, man, we get our news from each other, man.
Right.
You know, like I was saying earlier, I'm trying to find a new social platform. I know Isaac Hayes the third got a platform jumping off that I'm going to look into and see what's going on over there. But man, I look at it and I'm thankful that I don't have a young child right now. Situations are, like Pete said earlier, it's like the last days, because if this kid get in here and start implementing the stuff that we know that he wants to implement, it's going to be some hard times. There's going to be some changes. And with change comes panic strikes. And when panic strikes, anything can happen. Anything can go down. And especially if people start hurting for real.
Get hungry. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Remember what Elon Musk said, it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Exactly.
Right,
They're telling you they're about to make it hard on you.
And he's regulating the regulators.
Exactly. And he didn't mean it. You can't, he just said it. Trump can say he know nothing about the Project 2025, but now he's implementing shit from 2025, the whole playbook.
Incredible.
But man, one thing I'd look forward to on Sunday, other than that pigskin, is building with my boys, man. Lift a lot of shit a motherfucker got on his shoulders off. And as I said earlier in the beginning of the show, we're not going to be so politic-centric from here on out. We're going to jump back into our current affairs, man. I got a lot of things to say. Have y'all seen or heard the Kendrick joint that is out right now?
He got a whole LP out, man.
Yeah, he got a whole LP out. But what's really, it's one song in particular when he said Esco was the only boy that saluted him for the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Yeah.
For the Super Bowl look, and that got the whole culture on fire about that. Lil Wayne took to Twitter talking about leave him alone and all of this and type stuff. So yeah, man, we're gonna get back into some culture type stuff when we convene after Thanksgiving in the soup, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, we cool with that, or we want to stay politically?
No, I'm good.
We can mix it up like we normally. Yeah, mix it up.
Yeah, mix it up, definitely, because a lot of things that are happening that may happen as far as entertainment issues concerned that honestly affect the way people think, and the way people vote and the way people move. So yeah, man, we gotta try.
Gotta hit every area, fam.
Yeah, how to be as holistic as possible, man.
That's what it is.
Let them get a full meal when they come to the soup.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Before we wrap, man, you got anything you got to say to the people, UH?
Yeah, I want to talk about something real quick. It's called integrity. Integrity. I always talk about community over capitalism. It's easy to understand if you have integrity, which means that you're not going to do certain things. You operate a certain way. You're forthright, you're intentional, and you're truthful about the things that you do and say to people, having integrity. You're going to do the same thing in front of them that you're going to do when they're not around. That's having integrity, right? You're going if you have business with somebody, you're going to honor the business that you have with them and do business the way it's supposed to be. That's called integrity. If someone gives you something that throws their books off and you know that it's going to cause them consternation, give them back their money. That's integrity. This is integrity we're going to talk about. I'll mention that because when we talk about community capitalism, you know what I realize the big difference between us and people who think of capitalism over community is integrity.
Right.
Because those people will do whatever they feel is necessary in order to get the money. Whereas we are willing to, because we look at community, are willing to work together to get to the money as opposed to the money getting to us, if you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
So that's what I wanted to talk about, man. So have integrity in your movements, have integrity with the people that you deal with, and have integrity in business, and everything will be all right.
I like that. That's
Yes,
peace
sir.
right there. That's peace right there. Panero, what you got to say before we go?
Was short and sweet, something for the men of a certain age, the soup, the crock pot today. Here at Men of a Certain Age, we thrive on intelligence and being intelligent and researching. But we also thrive on being wise and learning from past discretions. It's intelligent to know that a tomato is considered a fruit, but it's wise to not put a tomato in a fruit salad. What we've done in this country is we putting these people who voted for Trump, y'all gonna put a tomato in the motherfucking fruit salad, man. And y'all about to fuck around and find out what it tastes like. That's for men of a certain age.
Real shit.
That's good. That's real shit. I like that. And as always, man, it's the same old soup. We just reheating it. Until next time, peace.
Peace.